Deep within an isolated woodland area, surrounded by tall trees, was a small, abandoned Shinto shrine. From the outside, it was small with a torii gate that stood in front of it. Its old, wooden, and with age was covered in mold. Small stone Doro lamps arranged the stone steps that led up towards the entrance. Inside this seemingly small shrine was a secret door that led down into a secret corridor. Apparently, below this small shrine and unknown rooms were corridors. During the Meiji period, there was once a Shinto priest named Bokto, who went insane and killed his shrine maidens before taking his own life. The temple lay buried and forgotten as time passed, until there was nothing but rotten wood and broken stone. Thus a small shrine was built in its place before it too lay laddered and forgotten by its time itself. Within a dimly lit tatami room, a man sat on the floor as he idly picked up a dismembered head belonging to another unfortunate victim. Hands with long black talon-like nails created a black on the black hair of the head, as thick as red blood oozed from the neck. The severed head was that of the young female, and she had been beautiful when she was alive. Her eyes had brutally been gouged out, her tongue ripped and teeth broken. Ashamed, she hadn't expecting to be the victim of a demon, as the man gently shook her severed head up and down, causing even more blood to pour out and into a pot filled with black soil. Once the blood flowed stopped, the black-haired man glanced at the pot in wonder as its soil began to stir. Sorry, where was I? Okay. A bloody embryo of flower slowly sprouted from the soil as it gradually grew and took the shape of a flower. Red eyes whined in anticipation as a wicked grin sketched across the man's face. The result? A fucking tulip? Again! At that, a snarl escaped the demon's lips as he harshly threw the dismembered head across the room with an aggressive force. It smashed against the wall with a bloody splat and landed into a pile with other severed heads of previous victims. Useless, useless, useless! He shouted in frustration, dramatically gripping his hair. Poppies, chrysanthemums, and roses. Not one of these heads can grant me the blue spider lily, he groans. Then why don't you just paint a red spider lily, Master Sajijin? Said a female voice. Perhaps the Lord wouldn't tell the difference. The demon man, Sajijin, glanced at his young subordinate as she mindlessly played with the hanging talismans of her hat. He chuckles darkly, amused at how naive this little Sajijin could be. My dear Wyoming, that simply won't do. The Lord would surely have my head if I presented him a fake, he tells her. With my red soil, I could easily create a blue spider lily. I just need to find a human with blood that's perfect to nourish the soil just right. Sajijin's licked his lips. Unfortunately, the blood in these heads are useless. Disgusting, he growls, before turning to face Wyoming, his red eyes glaring and smiling madly. If I am successful, our king would have no choice but to make me an upper moon. Perhaps even his right-hand man, he adds, chuckling. Wyoming blinked owlishly as her so-called master. She still didn't quite understand as to why Sachujin was so obsessed with being an upper moon. Why so obsessed with becoming an upper moon, Master Sanji? She said, tilting her head to the side. because the other upper moons are all idiots. I feel like I'm the only one putting effort into searching for the blue spider lily for our king, while everyone else is just prancing around, twiddling their fingers and toes like humble jesters. Also, I'm tired of being at the bottom of the rank, he says, the last part a fake saddened tone. Aw, poor Master Sajin, Wyoming says nonchalantly, before embracing him in a comforting hug from behind, wrapping her arms around his neck. I owe the Lord as much. He saved me from a pitiful experience I called human life. Becoming a demon was a blessing, and for that I am truly grateful. My wondrous king and Lord deserves perfection, and I feel I'm the only one who can make that happen. I'm so close. I just know it. He hums, a hopeful smile tugging at the corners of his lips. Close to what? Came a soft, masculine voice. Oh. Both Sunjin and Wyoming quickly turned to see a man standing in a doorway. He wore a red turtleneck and tan-colored Hanukkah pants, a black crown-like hat atop his head, as rainbow eyes glanced at the pair. It was then Wyoming noticed he was dragging a decapitated body in hand. Oh, dear, I hope I'm not intruding anything, the upper moon says, sarcastically. Of course he knew he was intruding. Lord Doma, what a marvelous surprise. What brings you here? Sanji kneeled on his knees. Oh, I was just in the area and thought I'd stop by, Doma exclaimed with a catty grin. I see you brought me a gift. Sanji gestured towards the bloody corpse the ethereal paradise cult leader was carrying. Yes, alas. I heard, though, the grapevine that you were experimenting with these and said you were in need of donations. So I figured I could give, Doma says, tossing the body onto the floor. Apparently another one of Doma's helpless cult members. Lord Doma, you really shouldn't have. Thank you. Sanji bows. It was my pleasure. Anywho, I must get back to my worthless followers. A farmer must always keep his cattle in line for the slaughter. Doma says, hiding a sadistic grin behind a fan. Also, do be careful. I was told demon slayers are in the area. I won't want you losing your head, now would I? He chuckles. And with that, the upper moon took his leave as Wyoming looked on, before glancing down at her master who remained kneeled on the floor. She could see him shaking in fear, his red eyes blown wide in horror, his messy black hair soaked with sweat, and a Cheshire smile slowly morphing into a frown. What's wrong, master? She asked. But the answer was obvious. He was afraid. My dear Wyoming, Lord Doma shouldn't have known of this place. He shouldn't have known acknowledgement of my experiments. Upper moons usually don't care about low-ranked demons, do they? Sanji trembled before pointing towards the body that Doma had brought him. That body is no human, but a low-ranked demon like me, he says. Our king must be displeased, which means that low-ranked demons are slowly being disposed of. Seems time is of most essence, and there's not a minute to waste.